So this is a test of my video editing software and me testing my capture card. I have had some issues in the past where the capture card would tell me that I was not able to actually stream for more than a half an hour without my computer having some sort of issue, which was really unfortunate. I did not like that. Yeah, I'll just get rid of F124. I did not like that at all because it really just really bugged me with the way that it happened because there's so many problems, and I do enjoy streaming, and I am going to start streaming next week. Monday, I am making a schedule for streaming. Um, a streamer I follow streams on a streamer I enjoy streams on Tuesdays and Thursdays from like 7 to 10. So I will not be streaming on those times, but I will be streaming probably 3 to 5 times a day, or 3 to 5 times a week for a couple hours once I figure out how everything works. I'm working on a schedule. Um, I have the, what's it called? NASCAR video game here because that's a really simple video game, and I know everybody just likes watching race cars crash into each other, which is a sad thing to think about when you are a race fan. Interestingly, NASCAR popularity peaked probably around 2005, which was 4 years after the death of Dale Earnhardt. And there hasn't been a death in NASCAR since 2009, a death in NASCAR in the United States since 2005 or 2001. 2002, if you count ARCA with Blaze Alexander. There have been major injuries in NASCAR, including Dale Jr.'s concussions and things of that nature. But it's one of those things where I don't know if the reasoning for NASCAR becoming less popular had anything to do with more races being on cable, with it being safer, um, or if it had something else to do with, like, for example, the rise of streaming content, because there is so much streaming that you can just get these days. And, like, Netflix really started 2006, 2007. I remember when I was a kid and Netflix streaming started and the show Red Dwarf was on there, I would watch that show literally every day because I was obsessed with it. And I would watch that instead of watching other things. And now that I have the ability to stream to stream TV shows whenever I want, like today, I watched NASCAR race from yesterday. I watched Jujutsu Kaisen, and I'm going to watch the Mariners play the Athletics in Sacramento in a little bit. And those are all because of streaming. YouTube TV from NASCAR with their DVR, Jujutsu Kaisen from Crunchyroll, and from the Mariners game, because I am not in Seattle. I'm on completely the opposite side of the country. It's streaming through MLB TV, which is pretty epic. I don't know why I didn't do this. Why didn't I get the Guardians package with MLB TV? Because that's available to us these days. I don't know why. That's what I'm going to do next year. Um, but yeah, so this is just a test to see how that works, to see how my video editing skills work. I took a class this semester. This semester ends on technically the 16th, but all of my stuff has been turned in, so I'm not too worried about anything with that. But I took a class this semester called Digital Video Media Literacy, or Digital Video Composing, something along that line. Um, and basically, it was all about, instead of using writing to teach composition, use digital video to teach composition. And I thought it was pretty interesting because we did have to do video editing. I also had a class the previous semester with that professor which had one video assignment, which was simple. It was to film yourself doing a lesson and edit the video down to 2 minutes. I hated that assignment because I hated video editing at the time. I did not know what I was doing. I thought it was really silly. I thought there was a million things that I could have been doing better with my time. So I actually read the entire Bible for a second time instead of video editing until it got to the point where, oh, the semester's over. I better turn this in. And then, yeah, so it's turned in. It got turned in. I got an A in the course, but still. When you'd rather read the entire Bible and you're not a Christian, you know the assignment's not great at all. Um, Yeah, I don't know why I felt that way at the time, but this semester with the video editing, I got better at it because we basically had to do it every week. Our final assignment was so our main assignment throughout the entire class, like we had an assignment that we had to do every week, which was to take beautiful images, just anything that we found beautiful, shorts, still life, ourself, anything like that. And we had to edit it together into a final film, which was interesting. I did not actually post it to YouTube because I used copyrighted music in it, which we are allowed to do as students. As students, you are allowed to use copyrighted music that does fall under fair use. Um, because you are not using it to make money, you're using it for a educational purpose, and especially because this was technically an English education course, so uh, the entire field of English literature, or what we would call the English major these days, or even English language arts in class, would fall apart if not for fair use, because criticism is a major part of fair use, and criticism and finding meaning is basically what ELA is and English is at the college level. And everything. You find meaning in something, you take a quote and you take context and you find the meaning. Um, there's a bunch of different ways. Like new criticism is all about what's on the text, what the text says directly, whereas what I believe is that your experiences, what your friends of your life experiences, the media you've listened to, watched, or read throughout your life will experience, will change meaning for you. For example, like I watch a lot of manga or anime, and I read a lot of manga. So when I read things, I sometimes think of them from a Japanese perspective. I'm not Japanese, but I have been exposed to a lot of Japanese culture in my life. I've also read a lot of Greek myth in my life, which is a really fun thing to do because you can actually find a lot of meaning in there. Meaning in Epic the Musical, or interestingly, um, recently the Epic the Musical fans have taken the "Where in the hell is our pride and our rage? This is how they hold us down while the throne gets colder" song as a protest song against the administration of the United States, which is something because that is a song where Odysseus is being threatened, or no, not Odysseus, where Penelope is being threatened by the suitors who are going to perform some very violent and horrible actions towards her. They end up being killed by Odysseus in the next song. Or also Epic the Musical versus the 100 Men versus one Gorilla, and it's 600 lives at stake. That one, which is pretty cool that they've done that. If you hadn't been exposed to that and you just hear those songs, you're not going to find the meaning that I would find because it's different. Um, there are completely different meanings based on how you interact with a piece of media. For example, for me, this is just as somebody who has literally seen people die in race cars live. This video game is a way to process things like that. It could be seen as when you do the crashing like that. Um, Dan Weldon, Jules Bianchi, Dale Earnhardt, people like that. I did not see the Blaze Alexander crash live because I couldn't watch ARCA as a kid because we didn't have cable. Um, but it's something that you have to think about. And as you think about it, you're like, oh, okay. But anyway, thanks for tuning in. And again, thank you for tuning into the videos. Don't forget that you can also see me on Patreon at Sammy5436, where it's $1 a month. I also am seeable on Instagram at Sammy5436. TikTok at Sammy5436. I'm on Blue Sky at Sammy5436, though I don't use that often. I believe I'm on Tumblr at Sammy5436, but I haven't used that in at least a year. And you can find me at my business email, thetrapezoidtalks5436 at gmail.com. Any information you need to send to those business emails will be
looked at. I generally look at my business email on Wednesdays and Sundays, so just do be advised that I do not always have the ability to respond immediately. But if you do send a email to my business email, and as long as it's not offensive, I will respond if it's something I'm interested in with something positive, and if it's something I'm not interested in, I will thank you for your email and go ahead and say that there may be a future opportunity for us to collaborate if that's something you're interested in.